Whenever people would ask me how I reverted to Islam, I would always give them some sort of half-truth. And honestly, I don't know why exactly I did this, but I just kind of wanted to clear the air, because looking back at my whole 9-month journey into being a Muslim and my journey of looking into religion itself for over a year, I kind of realized, well, it's quite interesting, you know, and why not tell people about it? Because maybe there's somebody on the fence and they just want to hear somebody else's story, how somebody else looked through all the other religions and it's just like, wow, this made sense. So yeah, I grew up atheist. My parents pretty much divorced young. They would take me to church a few years when I was young. I never really understood anything, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really pay attention, but honestly, I mean, I kind of just had some sort of atheistic perspective the entire time. I didn't believe in God. I would actually kind of laugh at people who did, and I kind of feel bad for that now. I had a very ignorant perspective, and I never knowingly met any Muslims like where I live. I live in Texas, in a decently small town, and where I live, people are either Christian or atheist, right? So meeting a Muslim, I never really met any. There was like 2 kids in my school, which I later found out during my first Ramadan that they were Muslim. I was pretty confused, right? To add some extra context, my best friend of 5 years was getting into religion a little bit over a year ago, right? And at this point, he was growing his haram business. But one day, I don't remember what we're talking about. Like, I think it was like Andrew Tate or something. We're talking about Andrew Tate, and then we somehow got to religion. And we were talking about Jesus, peace be upon him, aka Isa. And I was saying some pretty crazy stuff. So we were just talking about him for whatever reason. And I was being the natural skeptic I am, right? I was playing kind of like the devil's advocate, where it's like, how do you even know he existed? And oh my, it's very stupid that now that I'm looking back on it, it's like, how could you even believe this, right? And right after my friends kind of told me off, it's like, dude, you don't know anything. I was like, shoot, bro, you're kind of right. And I don't remember what happened exactly next, but I do remember watching some videos on religion, you know, Christianity and Islam. I was actually looking into Christianity first because, well, everybody around me was Christian, right? So at this point, I was believing in God, but I didn't really know exactly what religion to follow. In my head, it made sense to follow a religion, one that was right, perfect, and hasn't been changed. So what I did is I bought the Bible and the Quran at the same time. I didn't know anything about religion, right? So I was gonna buy the Torah, like literally the Torah. I didn't know the Hebrew Bible was the same as the Old Testament. I bought me the ESV Bible. I also bought me a Quran. But definitely reading about this with the actual sources was the best option for me. Around a year ago at this time, I want to say maybe September, I had this master plan. Okay, I'm going to read the Bible front to back. I don't want to skip any pages. I don't want to read too much. And my Bible was around 1,000 pages long, and I've never read a book on my own before that. So I was thinking, okay, well, how do I do this and how do I not get burnt out? Until 2024 started, I basically divided the number of pages by the number of days, and then I got around 20 to 30 pages each day. And whenever I missed a day, I recalculated so I could, do it. And I finished the Bible at the end of the year. It took me a few months, but I did it. It was pretty eye-opening. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I never looked into any sort of religion before. I didn't know the story of Moses, Abraham, Jesus, at least in their account, right? So learning about it was really, really interesting. And like on the side, I would watch either Dakwah, maybe some sort of debate, or like a priest talking about Christianity. So that's what I did. At this point, I wouldn't even say like a third way into the Bible. I was like, okay, well, Christianity is kind of cooked. I mean, I would watch people like Sheikh Uthman. He would bring up some very good points, like, how could you believe in a book that has contradictions, right? How could somebody be 22 and 42 at the same time? How does it make sense to take this as verbatim? And I told myself I wanted to start with the Bible because, I mean, it was the closest thing around me. I mean, I could easily talk to other Christians around me. I knew a lot. So I was like, okay, well, if I do this, and it'd be a lot easier. Nope, wasn't that easy. And I found atheists to also bring like really good arguments. I watch a lot of like actual debates. So people talking about problem of evil, why God should and shouldn't exist, stuff like that with like actual debates. So now it's January 1st, 2024, and I started the Quran. And I decided to finish the whole thing in about a month. So January 1st to January 31st. But unfortunately, I didn't finish it how it's not a book about cutting people's heads off and beating your wives. No, it's not. It's about actually loving people and fulfilling your purpose, something that you don't really see a lot with modern day Christians or even atheists, right? Even before finishing the Quran on February 5th, when I was 18, I took my shahada in my room. I mean, I was doing calculus homework and I did it. I was just kind of thinking to myself like, dude, I know this is the truth. Why am I doing it? Just thinking in my head. And I was just like, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. I definitely felt better. I'm not going to say my life turned around as soon as that happened. No, there's still a ton of work to be done, inshallah. Thanks for watching, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.